Bizarre Brain Comics. Hello! Gary here for Bizarre Brain Comics. Welcome. And we're here to talk about another little comic. I'd like to kind of talk about the story and the art, and the creators. So today, we're going to talk about a story that's in this book right here. This is from Ka-zar. Some people pronounce it Ka-zar. I prefer Ka-zar. Number 3 from 1970. This book is it contained 3 reprint stories. 2 Ka-zar stories. One with Ka-zar and Spider-Man, one with Ka-zar and Daredevil, and then the third one didn't have Ka-zar in it at all. It was a reprint. They're all reprints, and unfortunately it doesn't identify where they originally appeared. And this is featuring the Angel from the X-Men, a solo story. And it's called In the Den of the Dazzler. While there are no credits, it is probably written by Stan Lee, and it is drawn by George Tuska. I have no idea who the inker is. Might be Tuska himself. I don't know. So we'll see. Okay. Let's take a look in the big book of knowledge, shall we? Okay. The Angel. He's Warren Worthington III. And he is a founding member of the X-Men, created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby in 1963. And much later, he was called Archangel. He had a few other synonyms as well. And he is a mutant, known as Homo Superior. And later affiliated with several teams, such as the Champions, Defenders, and some of the other X-named groups. And the artist, Joe Tuska. It's from 1916 to 2009. He was a comic strip artist, as well as comic book artist. In the 1940s, he worked on the Fawcett Captain Marvel titles, and also stuff like Crime Does Not Pay title. And although born in Connecticut, he grew up in New York City. And his father died when the boy was only 14. And his mother opened a restaurant in New Jersey. By 18, he'd moved back to New York and attended the National Academy of Design. And he was influenced by comic strip artists Lou Fine, Hal Foster, and Alex Raymond. I'm sure there are others in there too, but those are most notable. And his first art job was designing women's costume jewelry. That sounds incredibly boring. And then he, working for the Eisner Iger studio, that was his in to the comic book industry. And he was a popular Marvel artist in the 60s, most notably on Iron Man. And then from 78 to 82, he worked on the DC newspaper strip, The World's Greatest Superheroes, which featured the Justice League of America. I remember that. I didn't see a whole lot of it, and I've seen one paperback reprinting one story from it. I think it was just one story. Anyway, that's it. So you want to see the Angel? Let's go take a look. The mutant, the winged mutant from X-Men. The Angel. Yeah, here's the Angel. And just, if you want to know, here's a better view of the cover of the comic. The Ka-zar in competition with Spidey. And as I said, these were reprint stories. Now, of course, the Angel was originally one of the X-Men. He's been solo and with other groups. Now, this is a solo story, but I presume at this time he was still affiliated with the X-Men, although he's no longer wearing the standard X-Men man uniform. I think they've begun to diverge a little bit. And I actually like this costume. He looks cool with those wings. I always wondered why just having wings would qualify one as a superhero, but it worked for Hawkman as well, but he had specialized knowledge. Okay, the Angel in the den of the Dazzler. No, this is not the Dazzler from the Marvel Comics later, who was also a mutant and became associated with the X-Men and other X titles. And here, of course, everything's continued. This is right in the middle of a story. A storyline. It's backup. So it was. I don't know why it's in this particular book, but it was probably this story was being continued into Marvel Tales issue, and the Ka-zar Spider-Man story was also being continued into that title. So maybe that's why. Maybe they met up there. Okay, and we find out here, that Dazzler, he's rotten, heartless. One of the finest men who ever lived died because of him. I'll get him for that. I swear it. And he's talking about his father. So, and I don't know who this Dazzler is. He obviously wasn't that very big of a villain. But this is some really nice panel splash page. I really like that figure, and it's standard George Tuska. The way that his legs are positioned and his fists. We'll see some of that later, and some real nice background work. Okay, here's the cops. Said, "This is an FBI matter, mister. I'll handle it." This is I can't remember his name, but yeah, somehow this person, the Dazzler, was the cause of Angel's father's death. There's a classic George Tuska face there and hand. Nice. So you want to get the Dazzler? So does Uncle Sam. Look, I know how you feel, but be sensible. Let the law help you make him pay for his crimes. Good another standard George Tuska face. And here he's so angry, understandably, and he takes off. He's going to get his own revenge. And he's got to tell his mother about the death of his father. And here we see the Dazzler. He's a goofy looking character. We don't really know what his power set is completely, but from his headquarters, he can track his goons who have been arrested through the something in their uniforms. And it says, now almost absurdly simple for my Dazzler beams to zero in on the wave pulses which waft invisibly forth from the telltale garments. The unspeakable swine are cowering in a police station. I'll turn up the audio so I won't miss a single syllable. I don't know how that's supposed to work, but it doesn't matter. It does. And here's this guy says, let me think. He's trying to, the FBI guy is saying, talk or you'll take the fall yourself. And so okay, he starts, one guy says, okay, I'll talk. And at that moment, the Dazzler throws a switch and zap, zap, zap. Oh my gosh, what in blazes was that? This, 1 second they're here and then nothing. So they were zapped into nothingness, disintegrated by the power of the Dazzler. I guess that's why he's called the Dazzler, because that's pretty dazzling. Cool, dynamic, and potentially frightening image there. And then here we are back at the Dazzler's hideout with his other goons, and he's threatening his others. Said, I am surrounded by betrayers and bumblers. Now hear this. Complete all assignments to my satisfaction or perish. Remember that. Always. He's just a loon. And then he throws a goblet at. He's striking one in the face. And that hand there is also a standard. That whole pose there is a standard George Tuska figure. So he's easily identifiable, even through hair. Oh, this guy here is also. He's George Tuska all over again. Hello, and that's a mortician, and he's calling the angel. Here's the angel in his civvies with his wings bound, folded up and bound to his back, so that he can walk and look like a normal person. He's going to go talk to his mother, and he's getting a call from the mortician wanting to make prep for his father, and he says no. It's like he's just so angry. Why did it happen? Why did it happen to Dad? And why did the Dazzler order him slain? And here he is looking at his picture of his girlfriend, and he doesn't trust her. If I hadn't dated you, my father would be alive now. So he's blaming her. So lovely, so deadly. I don't know what part she played in it, but here slams the picture down, face down, and then zap, something happens to him, and he is teleported to the Dazzler's hideout. He's going to hold him. He doesn't realize that he is the angel. And he's surrounded by the goons, and he just lays into them, just knocking them right and left until they get. Here's a good panel-to-panel storytelling, because you can see all the goons, and sufficient good, cool background. The fake technology stuff, and all that other that helps to tell the story. And he gets laid low and imprisoned in a cell. Said, I'm in a cell of some kind. This is when he comes to, and he sees the air duct. So he changes back to the angel and starts crawling through the duct, but he has a little bit of difficulty with his wings. And here he is, crawling through the base, and seeing the angel, Dazzler, conferring with his goons, and suddenly, whoosh! That's a cool, dramatic and dynamic shot right there. Zooms out of the duct, right into the Dazzler and his first goon, laying into these guys again, knocking that guy's teeth out. Oh, there's a great figure right there. Look at his figure. Look at his figure. Good command of the anatomy, a dynamic pose with stored up power and energy, even though he's not physically moving. And says, hold it right there, or this innocent will be disintegrated. And it's Candy. It's his civilian girlfriend. It's Candy. What is she doing here? And so he's holding her, going to make him do something. Young Worthington is my prisoner. See, he doesn't know. I had plans for him. I seized the girl so he would be forced to follow instructions. And now I have her. Would you allow her to perish because of you? Because of you? And strange, indirectly Candy helped cause my father's death, and now her life is in my hands. I can't let her be harmed, of course. And she's just standing there in a state of suspended animation stasis of some kind. And there's the goon surrounding him. All right, you've got me. You got me all on Twitter. What does come next, you maniac? Even the Dazzler is not immune to curiosity, and so, off with your mask. I want to see who you really are. Oh, dun, dun, dun. And that's right at the conclusion of the story. So watch for the mind-blowing conclusion to this epic angel adventure in Marvel Tales 30. Yes. And then, so we don't know what happened. He was about to have his secret identity revealed. See, and here, this and the end of this Ka-zar story with Spider-Man is to be continued in Marvel Tales 30. So the two stories may converge at that point. It's hard to say.